I want to talk instead about the new Arizona immigration law because many of you liberals are hysterical. You're wrong, and I'm going to prove you to be hysterical and wrong. What you don't know is that the new Arizona law, which you call fascist and Nazi, mirrors federal law. Federal law already requires aliens, that would be your constituency, aliens mean non-citizens, to register and carry their documents with them, 8 U.S.C. 1304E and 8 U.S.C. 1306A. The new Arizona law simply states that violating federal immigration law is now a state crime as well. And because illegal immigrants are by definition in violation of federal immigration laws, they can now be arrested by local law enforcement in Arizona. How many different ways do I have to tell you, hysterical liberals, that the new Arizona law mirrors federal law? It is not a new law. It only permits the state to do what the federal government refuses to do, even though the laws are on the book. Now, but I want to talk to a more fundamental point, which is the hysteria and lies of the radical left in the media and the government complex. The left is defaming Arizona and the people of Arizona by using the word Nazi. They're keeping hoodwinked into thinking that somehow these laws in Arizona are exactly what went on in Nazi Germany. This couldn't be further from the truth. Do you know actually what happened, what the Nazis did actually? Do you have any idea what actually happened? I don't know how any Jewish Holocaust survivor or any supporter of any Jewish causes cannot be sickened by this watering down of the word Nazi or fascist. The Nazis didn't just arrest people. The Nazis actually tortured people and then sent them to death camps. The people of Arizona are not going to simply round people up because they're Hispanic. The law says that there has to be reasonable suspicion that the person that they arrest is an illegal alien. Again, let me repeat, in case you missed it. The new Arizona law mirrors federal law, which already requires your friends, your constituents, that is aliens, that is non-citizens, to register and carry their documents with them, 8 U.S.C. 1304E and 8 U.S.C. 1306A. Send that to Janet Napolitano. The new Arizona law mimics the federal law that Janet Napolitano and Barack Obama will not enforce. Nazism? What a disgrace. The Nazis didn't deport people. The Nazis sent them to concentration camps to be slaughtered by the millions. This has nothing to do with Arizona's immigration law. But let me ask you about the following acts that occurred on the Democrats. Let me ask you if those acts mimicked in any way that of the Gestapo or of Nazis. What about Janet Napolitano's black helicopters who went after the Michigan militia? Does that sound like Nazism to you? We're actually following this case up in Michigan, and there is a liberal federal judge who happens to be a black woman appointed by Bill Clinton who is actually doing the job liberals are supposed to do. She is asking the overreaching federal government to prove that the militia did more than talk. That's right. There is still one real liberal left in the court. Her name, Roberts, Victoria A. Roberts, a federal judge for the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan, appointed by Bill Clinton. She served as the 62nd president of the State Bar of Michigan, becoming the first African-American woman to hold the position. This woman is demanding that Janet Napolitano's Gestapo squad prove that the people that were put up in jail, the 9 members of a Michigan militia accused of plotting war against the government, that they did more than just talk and they should remain locked up. She has listened for hours. She has not made a decision as to whether the 9 will remain in custody, saying only the ruling would come out pretty soon. She said the following. She said, mere presence where a crime may be planned is not a crime. How does this add up to seditious conspiracy, the judge asked. The government, of course, was caught flat-footed as usual. A lawyer, Arthur Weiss, a lawyer for one of the defendants, one of the Michigan militia, said that disgust with the government, as recorded by the undercover agent, is similar to what's said daily by radio and TV talk show hosts Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, and Sean Hannity. The lawyer said millions of people are talking about taking our country back, Weiss said. Now, I hope that this doesn't lead the government to arrest my cohorts, Limbaugh, Beck, and Hannity, simply for talking about taking the country back, but one never knows where this kind of overreaching by a government might lead. So again, I ask, if you want to talk about real Nazism, real fascism, let's talk about when the FBI shot Randy Weaver's wife and child to death under Bill Clinton. Did that sound like the Nazis? What about when Janet Reno, burned dozens of people alive at the Waco compound in Texas. Did that sound like actual fascism and Nazism? The media didn't call it at that time. So before the illiberal fascists of the left start calling maliciously this name and that name, they really ought to look at the history of what Nazism actually is. Moreover, they ought to look at the hypocrisy of Mexico itself. Remember yesterday I told you how Mexico, the government that is criticizing the people of Arizona for passing this law, how Mexico itself treats immigrants from Guatemala and other countries? Well, here's a report from the liberal Amnesty International. And Amnesty International, of course, I guess is now a conservative group. But Amnesty International says that many immigrants into Mexico are getting pulled off trains, kidnapped en masse, held at gang hideouts. They're beaten, raped, or killed. One female immigrant was robbed and forced off a train by Mexican federales and subsequently attacked by a gang and raped in Mexico. This is from Amnesty International. So this is about Mexico itself and how they treat illegal immigrants. They take them off trains, they beat them up, they rob them, and they rape them or they kill them. So the next time you hear a liberal talking about how fascist Arizona is, ask your lib friend if they know how they treat illegal aliens south of the border down Mexico way. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. If you care to talk about these or any other topics, the phone number is 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Let us begin across the country, across the land, north, south, east, and west. It is the Savage Nation. I don't know if I want to do this anymore today. What else do I want to talk about? Well, we got some good sound bites of all of the hysterical liberals whose constituency is largely illegal aliens, meaning non-citizens. How in the world can Mayor Bloomberg say that we're committing national suicide by clamping down on illegal aliens? Many people would say that we committed national suicide by permitting rhinos like him to run as Republicans. I'll be right back.